If your ink's too slow and your nib won't flow, here's one of the places that you can go. Larry is here to see you through with Mr. Announcer and Cubby too. It's Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews.
I'll probably respond with a picture of the pen and say, is this really the one you want? And have I got that right? And then we go from there. You know, it's just two people talking to each other. So,
okay. Mike, I think that personal touch is good. You know, I mean, I've ordered lots of custom pens, and sometimes I'll just do it off the website, but sometimes you need to clarify what you're looking for. And I think that's good that you maintain something like that as you go forward. You know, the commerce site is great, but they should be able to, you know, sometimes I feel more comfortable talking to the pen maker, actually.
Right. And if you're doing a custom pen, of course, you're going to have to talk to me. I mean, and you've described some of the custom pens you've bought. You know, there's nothing for it. You have to sit down and actually have a conversation because you need to work out what you want. And it's hard to do that with just check boxes in a tally sheet or something.
Okay, right now, don't forget, we'll go over it again. The discount is 30% till when, Mike?
December 16th.
Listen up, everybody. Okay, so that means if you're buying a pen for 150 that he has, it's going to run you 105 bucks. Now, right. That's a pretty good deal right there. So Christmas is almost here. Hanukkah, whatever you want to call it, is almost here. And then he does have a few of the ebonite. I think one left.
Just one. I only made 4, but one of them is left still. Yes.
$5,000 and you can get that, but that's not much.
No. I think I have it on the site.
Got the group on that one real quick.
Yeah, it's this. I think this one is the only one left, and it's basically a little more. It's $175. That's with a steel nib, and then just if you decide you want to go with something fancy, if you really, you know, it's just whatever the cost of that fancier nib is.
And that's a gold nib on here.
This particular one is a number 8 in gold, and so it's like a $250-ish kind of price for that. It's just whatever Bach is charging for the nibs is what it is. It's in that ballpark, though.
Anyway, so off the pen is like, again, 30% off. Okay.
Right.
And then after all the sales off, you're still going to run that 15% discount, right?
Sure, we can do 15% with the secret code.
The secret. Don't tell nobody. It's a secret.
It's a secret. It's double top secret. It was mentioned, about 3 of your Hangouts ago. I don't remember which the date is. They're going to have to watch all your Hangouts and listen to them. Yeah. And then in one of them, we say what the code is. Yeah.
Now, we have to be real careful, Mike. We have to be real careful. There could be a mole in the room right now. So I have to be real careful.
I can go ahead and say the code if you want me to. I mean, we might as well. Let's go crazy. We'll open it up to everybody right now. It's Larry 49. You probably would never have guessed that, but Larry 49 is the code. And there have been some notable exceptions of people that have sent me orders that forgot to put the code in, or forgot to tell me the code, forgot to use the secret message. I can't believe that. We won't mention any names, but their initials are Mr. Announcer.
Oh! Oh, creep!
No. So I still gave him the sale price. But we're among friends here, you know.
Hey, Mike, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a slight add-on to the gold nib. You know what I mean? It's nice that you were giving them a cost, but you also have to thread that thing into the unit, you know. So there's nothing wrong with, you know. I mean,
Doc, thank you for telling him. I keep telling him, but no, he's hard head.
Well, that's just. Well, part of the problem is
he froze up again. Got scared. Froze up. Hello, Mike. Calling Dr. Mike.
He should be back.
There he
is. I think my network is acting up. I'm sorry. I apologize. But Doc is correct. But you know, if I were stocking, you know, if I were buying like 5 of every size in gold nibs or something and had that kind of money tied up in them, I would definitely have to charge more to cover that cost. You know, if I were like running a real business, like right now, if you said I want to get, this one happens to be a medium, but if you said, oh, I want a gold fine, well, I just say, well, it'll take me a week to get, I have to go buy it. I don't have it I don't have a pile of them laying around. And so if I was doing a real business where I could respond quicker and had them in stock, I would definitely have to charge money to have them. Yeah.
Mike, I was going to ask you, with that particular pen with the 8, if a guy didn't want the gold 8 nib, do you have other 8 nibs that a steel nib or something that you could put in there?
Well, Bach right now, to my understanding, I mean, I looked at least the supplier I was looking at, they only make the number 8. And if you want a number 8, you're going to have to pay them, because they only make it in gold and titanium. The titaniums were down in the 150, 160 range, something like that. Again, that's just what it costs, and the gold ones were like over, they were 250, 230, some number like that. I'm sorry, I'm waving this guy around. And so if you want a number 8, I mean, that's just all that they have available right now. They have lots of different number 6s, and so like I said, I made 2 sections. So if you buy this, I'll let you in on a secret that I've only the other people, well, at least a couple people, on a couple of them, I had done the same thing I did with this one, which was I made both sections already. I have a number 6 and a number 8. So if you were to say, well, I just can't swallow, I mean, the pen is 175 and the nib is 250, or somewhere in that area for the gold one. And even the titanium one is like 160-ish or something. So that's a lot of add to the pen. But if you were to buy this pen, right, this as it is right now, you could say, Mike, I know you love that gold nib. You can keep it. I go, thank you, because I do like this nib a lot. But I would keep the gold nib. I could sell you this pen with the number 6 section, right, and with a number 6 steel nib for the 175 price. And lately, on the ones I already had it made, I went ahead and this is a secret, I don't want anybody taking advantage of that. I just threw in the number 8 section 2. It doesn't do me any good at this point. So I'll just give you the number 8 section, and someday down the road when you win the lottery, you can put a gold nib in, because it just threads in, right? So you don't have to buy the number 8 nib, right?
Not entirely.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that was a lot of information.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Well, today we're going to be doing a giveaway. And a giveaway, whatever giveaway, who cares?
Let's give away a pen. I think somebody else probably wants that too.
We had a little over 20 people. And the way we do it right now, we use a generator, and we put the amount of people in the generator, and they tell us who the lucky person is. And the pen went to me.
No, it didn't.
What a surprise. Hooray. That seems fair.
I'm honest, because I wear a bow tie. See? I think I'm going to be coming on with some, I'm going to get me some Mickey Mouse ears and put them up there. Why not?
Mike, just to let you know, I mean, all the stuff I've given away, I will tell you, sometimes it causes a problem. I had a giveaway that the person that was selected was Stephen Brown, Aziz's husband. Oh my God, people were so unkind. Why would you want to do that, Paul? You get so many. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's nothing to do with that. I've actually had people. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I would like to see Sarge Minhouse win at one time. People, their heads would explode.
Wow, really? I'll be darned. Wow.
Oh, yeah, Barry, it's amazing how unkind folks. It's only happened one time with Stephen Brown, because he's just real popular.
Right.
And so, but anyway.
I remember that giveaway, and he won. I was happy for him.
Actually, Liz, it wasn't a pen. It was a nice leather case from.
Oh, that's right.
Emmy at Pen Venture. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
He wound up giving it away because on the giveaway he felt guilty. I'm like, Stephen, if I want a pen, I don't participate in giveaways, but yeah, I mean, if I want one, I would take it.
Oh, that's sad he felt that way.
So, okay. So anyway, we're going to do our first giveaway right now, and I'm not going to announce it. Mr. Announcer will. We have nothing to do with the names involved. Are you sure it's not my name?
That's not your name.
Okay. So anyway, so that's a bummer. Huh. Huh.
And I didn't enter, everyone. I didn't enter. I won the last one, so I didn't enter.
Okay.
No one
Here
get
we go.
upset.
Totally.
The winner is Brian Seeley.
So Brian Seeley, wherever you are, you got a pen.
Congratulations, Brian.
Brian, if you
Congratulations.
don't want it, remember, I'm your pen pal. You can always send it back to me.
A hard sell, right?
Right. Okay. So anyway, but we had over 20 people entering on this giveaway, and that's a lot. Well, for me anyway, you know. I mean, Doc has like what 50 or 100 they enter his, but anyway.
Oh, he
The
has.
the previous ones though, I would post all over the place. I had thousands of entries. It was a pain in the butt going
Really?
through. Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
when you go on those different Facebook groups, you have people entering more than once too.
Yeah. I
you
don't
do that?
really account for that.
Oh, can you do that? No?
Well, if I posted on your site and Fountain Pens and some other
Yeah.
site, they can enter all the different. I don't really take that into account. So, yeah, the only thing I do with because I give away manufacturer pens, is if somebody wants to change the pen to something else, they can, except they cannot take a pen of lower value and get the cash. So I don't want to do that to Dan Smith. One guy in Mexico took his Sailor Pro Gear and upped it to a King of Pen, and he added the additional money for that. But it was, yeah, I mean, it's just I don't want to have Dan Smith to have to worry about that. So you can take the equal value pen or increase it yourself. You can't go down.
So again, Brian, whenever you see this video, you need to email us and let us know, and you have 24 hours to get back to me. So if not, then we'll have to do the giveaway all over again. And we don't want to do that because I don't know how long I can hold on to this. So anyway, this is the hardest part, giving away a pen. Even giving away a Jen Howe pen is hard for me to do. I'm a hoarder, a pen hoarder. What the heck? So anyway, what the heck? So anyway, all right. So Doc, let's run it through this one more time because you'll be amazed how many people email me and ask about how do I get in touch with you? How do I choose a pen? And we've already discussed this. I know, but some people may have missed it. And how do I pay for it? And what's his email address and phone number? So let's go over this one more time. So be really clear so everybody that missed it can get on it. Hold on, froze.
You frozen?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you're back on now.
My network must be acting up or something. But anyway, if I'm working right now, okay. For those of you who did not win that pen, you can still get the 30% sale for a little over a week now till next Thursday. You can go to my website, mikespenfun.com. There's the pen that you can't have now. Okay, right? But mikespenfun.com. You can go there and look at pens and pick them and hit the contact button and get to me. You can go to my Instagram account, MIGHKE42. And likewise, you can scroll down through my postings, look at pens, pick one out, do a direct message or a message to me, and you can tell me what you'd like to do. And then we'll talk to each other and work it out. If you can't do either of those, I'll give you my email address directly, mike@mighke.com. That's my email. You can just send me an email directly, and I'll do my. And if you want to text me on my phone or call me, just call me. That's fine too. We can talk. We can actually talk to each other too. 612-812-1674. That should be enough options.
PayPal? Do you do PayPal as well?
If I'm like most people, I can get rid of money about a dozen ways, and I can accept money about a dozen ways. PayPal seems to be the easiest because you don't have to give me any information. You can just put it in PayPal. My PayPal, well, until you get to the point where you're ready to, where you decided which pen you want,
Right.
whatever. I won't. It happens. My PayPal is my email address. So I mean that's the PayPal. But don't send me money until we figured out which pen you want. Okay.
I agree. What I usually do is somebody sending me PayPal money, I would ask them to send it to me as a friend, because if I'm giving somebody a really low price and they send it to me as payment for something, I have to pay PayPal for that. Not that it's a big deal for me.
Right.
But you know, you can send, if somebody sends you as a friend, but they use a credit card, then they'll pay it on their end. But I think given the fact that you're charging so low, you know, your prices are so reasonable to have to pay a, you know.
Right. I understand. Thanks. That's a good point. Yeah, I'm not a big expert on payments, and I will take, you know, there's almost pretty much everything. I've put accounts together for just about all the different ways you can pay. So if you come up with something that I don't have, I can always just open an account too. So, but I've got PayPal, and I can't remember all the names, and of course I got, you know, credit cards, you know, all that kind of stuff too. But
hey, Mike, I just want to point out that Larry put that pen in his pocket. I'm just saying.
I noticed that. I didn't say anything.
Just saying. I'm not.
And I saw that, and everybody the record, and I think this Zoom is being recorded, so I think that everybody will know that, and we can rewind and see that the pen did go into his pocket. I did see that too. Yeah.
And don't worry, after he goes to bed at night, I come around and fix everything.
Oh, okay.
Take my stuff away from me, for real. Yep.
Right.
Take it away. Yep. That's right. Mm-hmm. So, all right, now go over the nibs you have available. Believe it or not, Mike's going to sleep because he froze.
He's meditating.
Yeah, I don't know what. Okay. Maybe it must be my network connection is acting.
Yeah.
Flaky.
Well,
sorry about that.
Hang in there. All right. Now again, let's go over the nibs that you will offer. Believe it or not, people keep asking. That's why I keep asking you.
I understand. Well, I have a lot of nibs. I mean, I've kind of been buying through all the possibilities, and I won't get cocky and say I've got everything, but I've got from extra fine up through double broad in Bach. I have, I believe, extra fine through broad and 1.1 and 1.5 stubs in Yovo. I mean, pretty much the standard sets of standard nibs. I don't have anything really wild. Well, I actually do. I'll get to that in a moment. But I still, like I said, as I mentioned, I do have that one number 8 nib. But if someone comes to me and says, "Oh, well, I want such and such, and I don't have it in stock," I can go get a nib. I mean, it's not it'll just add a little time for me to go get the nib, but I can get nibs. So I've got but I mean, you know, I've talked to a couple of people, and we've always been able to come up with a nib that they wanted that I had in stock. So. I also have on the box side, I have plated gold, I have plated rose gold, I mean the steel ones. I have polished steel, and I have the bicolor, you know, gold and steel. So I have all the colors and all the sizes. And
hey, Mike, it's a pretty rare request, but I've had desires in the past to have, let's say, my favorite nib is a 21 karat Sailor EF. And there are some makers like Sean Newton who can actually fit that, because that's a pressure fit nib. The feed and the nib just get pushed together, and you insert it into this pressure fit housing of the I guess the grip section. And you might get something like that, a request in the future, not necessarily from me, but it's rare to see people. You have to basically kill a pen. You basically, you know, buy the Sailor pen, because you cannot, to the best of my knowledge, you can't buy those nibs.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So that's my understanding too, is that you can't buy, like Sailor, you can't buy the nibs. Some manufacturers do sell spare nibs and such, and so there is some out there on the market. But and I can get fittings, you know, housings for some of the various nibs. There are people that make, you know, custom housings for some of the nibs, and you can buy them rather than have to make them yourself. And then you can thread them
in Japan, Stylo Art. They make beautiful wooden pens and makie pens.
Right.
They actually take a Sailor pen and just take the entire set, just use that. And that's even, I think the Hakase, which I posted images of a few meetings ago, they use Pilot as well. So
yeah, I haven't gotten to that. You know, I mean, I haven't not done any other more exotic nibs like a Sailor or, you know, whatever. I haven't, you know, another one that's is readily obtainable are the Schmidt nibs, and I haven't even tried those yet. But if someone has a particular nib, especially if they already have the nib, and I guess that's another good question. Someone asked me if they want to buy one of my pens and they already have one of their own nibs, I would sell them the pen. I would just knock off the price of the nib and just sell it for a little less. Like $10 less if it's a steel nib like one of these. And they can then thread in their own special custom nib. It would have to be, like picking on this, it would have to be a Bach nib if it was this guy, or I have Yovo, pens that take Yovos. So if you already have a Yovo nib that you've had customized and ground, and it's really special to you, you could thread that in to a Yovo housing, for example.
Mike, what about feeds? Do you have ebonite feeds, or do some of your nibs come with them, or?
Well, the
Oh, lost your voice again.
You froze up.
With a plastic feed. That's the standard. There are people that make ebonite feeds for them, and I can go buy them, or you can go buy them too. I mean, it's readily available to everybody. Now, the number 8 box come with an ebonite feed, the titanium and the gold one. I guess it makes sense they would go ahead and give you an ebonite feed, but things can be customized. Again, I would have to go find go buy the appropriate feed. So it would add some time to change that.
But your number 6s are going to be plastic feeds.
All the Yovo and box, from the factory anyway, are all plastic. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if
And
anybody
I'm
makes
rich
custom
with them. They're smooth and wet. No problems at all.
Actually, the Yovo nibs, Mike, you can actually unscrew the feed and the nib from that housing. I didn't know that until I bought. My last Ryan Krusak pen. I bought. I remember showing you guys I guess a pack of 4 of those Yovo nibs with the owl etched onto them.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know you could unscrew them. I thought it was just made that way, and so be it. So technically, it could be somebody who would make an ebonite feed. I just don't know if anybody that does it.
There are people. I don't have the name right on the top of my head, but there are people that make ebonite feeds and for these nibs. So you can swap to an ebonite feed. Obviously, you have to go buy it, but I mean, you can obtain ebonite feeds for these nibs.
Magna Carta pens. They're now making their own nibs and feeds now.
Are they making their own nibs? Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be interesting. So
far, I have no intention of making my own nibs at this point.
No. Don't even ask me. Yeah. So is there anything else that you want to tell these people that they need to know?
Unless I've forgotten something. I think we've covered things, haven't we?
Yeah, I think we have. So if anybody has any questions or forget or anything, come back to this video and you'll replay the video and you can hear what you need to know, how to get in touch with Mike.
Right.
I think
Get in touch with me.
every time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I know I was going to ask you, what's your next project going to be?
Well, I think in the last one, I kind of hinted at it. Yeah. My current project, let's say the current project. Okay. My current project is somebody mentioned that people like clips. Okay. And so I've got myself a handful of clips here, I don't know if you can see them. I've got myself some clips that I had, and I've started a little handful of pens here, and this is the barrels part of it, and of course these are like machined and not polished and anything like that. So they're going to be much shinier than this, but it gives you an idea of the basic colors, what they're going to be, right? Anyway, so these are in progress. I'm hoping to have these done, like this weekend or something. My goal is to get them done before the sale ends. And when they come online and I say they're available, they will be.
You froze again. Okay. You're frozen. Cut on.
Hello.
All right, Michael.
We're back. We're back. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you heard any of that, but basically these are ones I'm hoping to have finished. You can kind of see what the colors are like. They're not shiny and you can't see into the depth at all because they're not polished yet. But these should all be getting done around the weekend time. So my goal is to have them done before the sale ends. So when I say they're available, you can get one, get one of these on sale.
Okay, so on the on the last giveaway that we're going to be doing, it's going to be just a regular hangout. So everybody can know that. And then it will be announced during the hangout. So everybody can get on here and hang out. So that's cool.
Okay.
Now, we have one, what's that thing coming up in January?
The giveaway?
Yeah.
Yep. January 1st. The schedule on the schedule right now, it's going to be January 1st at noon. And
Yeah.
and I presume we'll just continue going where we're going now, and that is to get into that giveaway. You'll announce whatever, and they will have to send their information to your Gmail again. And we're going to do it the same way.
Yeah.
That's good for me. Yeah, that would work.
And then from this day forward, any pins that are going to be given away throughout the year, you'll send me a Gmail, your name, however we're going to do it. You'll know when we get everything down intact. And then after you pay Mike, he will mail you the pin. Is that correct, Mike?
Well, on the giveaway pens, they don't pay me anything, right?
I mean, you'll send him the pin. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think the pen that we just gave away tonight, I think it was in your pocket, I think is where it went last.
Yes. I said, no,
so I can't.
I don't have a pen. I am not a thief.
Okay, I guess we'll just have Mr. Announcer wait till you fall asleep and we can get the pen. Okay.
So I have one question for you all.
Oh, she has a question. Wait a minute, everybody stop. The queen has a question.
I have a question. So we were talking about ebonite and plastic feeds. Is there a difference the way the ink flows on? Is that why people prefer one over the other?
Can I take that question?
Yes,
So
sir.
there's different surface interactions with fluid. Some materials are more what they call hydrophilic, that they're more loving of some are more phobic, where they don't want it, tends to repel it. To the best of my knowledge, and this may not go very far, I don't know if there's any real difference besides just the reason why I like gold versus steel. They write the same, it's just a preference to the best of my knowledge. As a matter of fact, the massive Namiki Emperor pen, their feeds are actually plastic but coated with urushi. They're absolutely beautiful. And the problem is over time that urushi can chip off but no, I don't know of any particular difference, but sometimes surface interactions with fluid can be a problem. And so just like when I was talking about dip pens, the last hangout, if you get oil from your fingers, you don't take off the original coating, it repels the ink. And so I think, in this particular case, I don't really know of an advantage besides the preference for ebonite, but I could be wrong. There might be somebody who has more knowledge than that.
Okay.
The only thing I know that's different is that you can dip the point of the pen in warm water and somehow get the ebonite to fit better.
Yes, that's a great point. Great point. That's what Mike Masayama does. If I have a pen that's not, releasing ink as well, or just skipping, Mike will actually, if you ever seen him do this at pen shows, he'll actually compress the ebonite feed against the nib itself and then sink it into, I don't think it's boiling water, but it's pretty hot water. And he'll just leave it there and then take it out. And if you ever need a nib worked on, Mike Masayama is literally a miracle worker. He's the best I know of. He was trained by Sailor, my preference for Sailor. So, but yeah, it's a great point though. Great point. It was actually one of the problems. It was one of the problems they had with the, and Manu would probably kill me for saying this, but one of my reasons I didn't buy the ASC one with the Omos bronze, Arco bronze, because the first Gladiator that they put out had an aluminum feed, and there's no way to do what you're saying. It is what it is. If there's an issue, I don't know of any way to really straighten that out, but you didn't hear that from me.
Well,
actually, I probably should have said that. I'm gonna.
That's a secret, Mike. This is called a secret room.
I didn't realize that.
Is what
Now, I got a question, Mike. Now, do you get any blanks, or can you get any blanks or solid color, purple, red, orange, yellow, green?
Right. I do get some solid colors. I have a pile around. I mean, of course I had those solid black ebonite. One of the ebonite pens was a solid black, but I guess I've been kind of buying a lot of things from the pensmiths, I mean, I've been really happy with their blanks. They're not the only ones that make them, of course, so I can get things from everybody else as well. But he makes quite a few solid colors that he sells them as accents, and I've actually made a couple pens out of those. I made a black one out of that, out of what the material he called diamond graphite, I believe, and it was a black with some sparkle in it, and I think I had just made it. It was in the little batch I pushed through just before the Chicago Pen Show, and I think right away at the Chicago Pen Show somebody bought it, so it's gone already. But you can see it on my list of pens. If you look at my pens, it'll be marked sold, but you can still see the pen. It was a very nice looking pen in person, of course, but I can do solid colors.
Are you planning to go to any pen shows?
Well, I have a day job and a life and all that, so I'm not going to hit the show circuit, hit all the shows right now. I'm kind of looking at the going to the Chicago. That was my first pen show ever, so I'm thinking about going back. Mentally thinking about going to it again this next year. One of the people I was traveling with or was hanging out with, it goes to the St. Louis show, and he was talking, well, you should go to that one too. So. And it's not very far away from me, relatively speaking, so I maybe do those two, but Chicago probably Doc, is certain.
Question to Doc: do you go to the DC Pen Show?
No, I will in the future though. I've only been to 2 pen shows. They were both in Atlanta over different years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Atlanta Pen Show. I didn't make the last one because it was not in person, I guess. But the same thing like you, Mike. I've got a day job that requires my time. I can take off, but it's my goal. I love going to those things. It's just like a calligraphy convention for me. You with like-minded people that just don't mind talking about a certain pen point for an hour. It's just like the calligraphy folks. We could talk about a certain single letter for an hour and nobody laughs at you. So. By the way, I'm gonna post some. Larry, you asked me before about the image of the nib from Natasha, and I have an image to show you guys. Can you see that?
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
That is beautiful. It is. No, for real.
That is the typical sailor profile of a nib. And you can see these things are actually numbered. Mine is 84 of 88. Wow. So that's hand painted. So, but the workmanship is fabulous.
Grip on that. Now, who made the pen?
Well, the company is Taccia, Taccia.
Okay.
But I just got a feeling that because Sailor made the nib, I imagine they machined the pen as well. It's ebonite, but I don't know that for a fact. It's just when I showed that image to you guys on Messenger, it was the Sailor Pro Gear with Sailor King of Pen next to a 149, and then that pen next to a 149. They're almost identical in profile. The ebonite King of Pen. Just before I forget. If you look at the messenger section that we go on Facebook, I posted a few images of 3mm glass beads. I use them a lot because, I'll show you what I mean. If you can fit it into, I like converter pens. I'm not a fan of plunger and pistons and things like that. I do own them, but it's not necessarily what I prefer. So can you guys see that bottle?
Yeah.
Those are 3mm glass beads with no hole in them. I put that into, and I'll show you, I put it into a converter to help with ink getting to the nib. Because sometimes in small converters, ink can stick on one side, and if you've ever seen a small Namiki converter, it's got a metal something in it that moves the ink around. So
like a spring or something?
Yeah, see the little beads?
Yeah, I see it.
And so I put 1 or 2 in there. Yeah, it does decrease ink volume a little bit, but that's not a critical thing to me. And so that's what I posted that in case anybody's interested. I don't like it when my pen all of a sudden starts to dry up. If the ink gets slow, it can actually stick one side. So you just invert the pen and helps the ink to get back to the nib. So
That's great to know. Thank you. I have another
you don't
question.
have to buy that many. I bought a pound of glass nibs. Trust me, I'll never use them in 5 lifetimes. I got them off eBay, Fisher Scientific on eBay.
Okay.
That's great. So Mike, on your pen, you sell them either with a Jowo or a Bach nib. Is there a difference between the two nibs with the way they?
Well, yeah, internally, the way they thread the actual threading of the nib unit between when it goes into the pen, and they're very similar in basic ideas. The nib unit, the housing just threads in.
Poor Mike.
And so you can replace them if you want to. If you want a different size nib, you can just unthread this one, stick it in. But to answer your question, there isn't a standard. So they each have decided the threading is different for each of them. Okay, so and I'm not going to say the numbers. It's good. It's just nuts. But there are 2 different threads that they've chosen. So you can't take a unthread like this is a Jowo. You can't unthread the Jowo and then thread a Bach nib in. It won't fit physically. You know, just like as we were saying a moment ago, the Bach number 6 and the Bach number 8 are 2 different threadings. So you can't just swap that way. But you can. Now, again, if somebody is ordering a pen from me, like a lot of people, you can say, I would like you to make, I'm threading. Okay, here we go. I would like you to make 2 sections. I can make 2 of these out of the same material, and I can thread one, excuse me, for a Bach number 6, and I can thread the other physically for the Jowo number 6. And then you would just pick one of those 2, one of those 2 sections, and then thread the appropriate nib into it. Does that make sense? So if you can't make up your mind, or if you want to just experiment, you could get one of each, for a pen. But I have to know to do that ahead of time. Like say this pen, I made this one as a Jowo, and so it's a Jowo, for life. Okay, unless we make a different section, But I may not have any of this material to make a matching section. You could always make a black one, I suppose. But
let me Go ahead, Liz.
Do they write differently? Like is a Jowo fine the same as a Bach fine?
Well, kind of. Now we're off into the preferences, and they are different. They're different from each other. I won't say that I can say, oh yeah, this is precisely what the difference is between them. I've had pretty good luck with both of them, so I can't, but some people have specific they prefer this one over that one. Maybe one is stiffer than the other. It's like picking between, say, a pilot and a sailor nib. Some people like one, some people like the other. Yeah,
because I have some pens with a Jowo, but I've never had a pen with a Bach nib. I've never used a Bach nib, so that's why I was curious.
Haven't you used a Bach nib before, Doc?
Many times. My preference. Listen. The difference that I know, and I can only speak to the gold versions of these pens. The Jowo tends to be stiffer. If you look at any pen that uses a flex Jowo nib, they actually cut areas out of the pen on both sides to increase its flexion. And so for me, the way I like to write, the Jowo is a stiffer point. I prefer that, especially if you're getting into extra fine nibs. Because I think I related this story. I posted it earlier. Mike Masuyama said you don't want to put an EF on a 21 karat Sailor King of pen because the nib tines become too sloppy. You got to have an incredibly fine touch, which I do not possess, to be able to use that. So there was a difference. I can't say the difference between, I'm sure there's a difference between a titanium Bach 6 and a gold Bach 6. Some people would claim, they like the springiness, the gold. I can't really tell how much of a difference. On something like a Pelican M1000, and there's a place online to get buy them. That pen is just too soft for me. It's just too soft. I don't mean flex, just too soft. I think they take the same amount of gold and stamp it into a larger, diameter or pen. I just can't do it. I have an allergic reaction to it. So, but you guys,
when you're saying soft, you mean the softness of the nib.
The nib is springy.
The writing part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're at a pen show, you see an M1000. it's and I don't mean flexion, Liz. I'm talking about it just has more of this to bounce.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and if you're somebody with a heavy hand, and to be honest with you, most people I see right online have heavy hands, and so yeah, me too. I mean, in the beginning, I've gotten lighter, but still not light enough to use something like an extra fine. They don't even make, the Sailor doesn't even make a King of Pen an extra fine. So
Okay.
Yeah, and with that Pelican 1000, because I have one, you have to be careful and not put a lot of pressure on that nib.
yeah, matter of fact, if you remember when Tim Cullen was on, I totally forgot giving him an M1000 EF nib because I just hated it. And I say I used this on a pen, but it was I think the 18 karat gold EF. It wrote like a Japanese broad. I couldn't believe it was like a fire hose. I just did not like it.
Love it.
And
Love it.
that's just my preference. Yeah. So I would, if I was going to buy a Pelican, I'd probably buy an M800. It's a little less so. I was actually looking at one of their Toledos. I owned a Toledo years ago, and the M700, but this would be an M900. But yeah, there are differences, and that's the great thing about going to a show is you go to a show, you can actually feel some of that, And flex writing with fountain pens is a tricky thing. It's only a matter of time before the nib springs. They're not really made. They'll say, "Oh, it's flex, it's flex." Trust me, as somebody who spent a career doing flex writing with steel pens, I blow through those things maybe once a page, and they're a lot more able. They're spring steel, so they're able to do that more consistently with gold.
Well, my handwriting, I have trouble writing with a bold or even a German medium. Just the way my handwriting is, I write too close, so you can't really.
Lowercase e closes off. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, so then I wind up writing way too big through the page, and it just looks horrible. So I just stick to either fine or medium. I've never used an extra fine yet.
Well, there's again a Mont Blanc extra fine would have to be to match the Sailor would have to be an extra fine nib, and the reality is the tip geometry is different. That's something Masayama understands. It's not just simply arbitrarily ground. There's actually the way in which they make the facets. I guess I don't know enough about it, but I will show you. I know you guys have seen enough of my writing before, but this is the first ink with the Tassia.
Oh, that's pretty. That's really
sweet. See that? And that basically is a Sailor EF, and that's the kind of nib width I like for writing. It doesn't mean I don't like writing with the Mont Blanc, but as you said, Liz, if I was to use a Mont Blanc medium or anything heavier, my letters would start to close off, and that's just again another allergic reaction.
Okay. So within the Bach, like what Mike's using between the Bach and the Jowo, you're not going to get a whole lot of difference between a fine with a Bach versus a fine with a Jowo. It's going to be pretty close.
They should be, yeah, but I don't think they really take it. I don't think that the tips are that. Maybe I'm wrong, but the website that John Modishore had, it's now under the ownership of ASC, I think it is. They used to have a page that would talk about all the different measurements of the nib widths. I don't know if it's still posted up there, but it depends on what you like. I can write with a platinum ultra extra fine. That's like writing with a razor blade on paper. You have to have an even lighter touch to do it. But most people, one of the reasons when I sell pens, someone like Sarge will buy some of my pens, Minhouse, you can't really get rid of EFs, Japanese EFs. People want the bigger nibs. It's just preference,
Well, I think, Mike, on my next pen, I'm going to try the Bach. I think I'll try the Bach. Fine.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I think
I can do that.
I like them.
Just see the difference.
Okay. Anybody have any more questions or things they want to share before we split?
Well, and another thing too with Mike is you can, if you see a color on Instagram that you like when he shows like all the new, the rods that you buy,
the new blanks. Yeah, I'll usually post the blanks. I'll get an order in from somebody, and I'll usually post a picture of just the raw blanks.
If you see something, just tell them. Say, hey, I want to see what that one looks like when it's done. I did that, and I absolutely love it, and I wound up buying it. So grab it if you think it's something that you really like.
Well, okay, folks. Before we go, we might as well go ahead and do this. We're going to do, well, we did one giveaway. So we're going to do 2 giveaways this time, this show. So, Mr. Announcer, who was the second person?
The second person has a name that I've not seen before. His name is Ewan Bassey.
All right, Ewan Bassey, congratulations wherever you live. Please get in touch with me so I can get your pin to you.
What pen did he win for her?
For him.
Him. Which other pen are you giving away? Are you giving away the other Mike's pen?
Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you were going to say that one for New Year's. Well, very cool. Very cool.
Isn't that right, Mike?
That's the one you're gonna yeah, that, but it's
Goes in the
careful,
pocket,
it's going
Larry.
back in the pocket again, but we know Mr. Announcer can straighten that out for us later.
I have a bad memory, and it's really bad. And yeah, because I can be going in another room to get something, and I forget what I get. That could happen to this, and
That can happen to anybody. Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
I'm going to post one more image for Liz.
Go ahead.
I got several of these here. I'll post some into our messenger group, but this basically was an early comparison I did between a Mont Blanc medium 149, an extra fine Sailor Collier, and that was a Yovo nib on there, steel. And then the top one is the ultra extra fine Platinum Century, which you could barely even see the color of the ink with that one. But notice how the extra fine steel nib looks almost identical to the Mont Blanc, you know, so. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, hold on, don't take it off. I'm still looking at it.
Yeah, I have other comparisons. I'll post these into our messenger group.
Okay, please, I want to look at it more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a big difference between 2 sizes. I mean,
Well,
2 sizes, big difference between the sizes. What I mean,
as I said,
you would never guess that. I would.
no,
I
the
would never
Japanese
guess
EEFs and UEFs are because Platinum makes them, Nakaya makes them. I actually have 2 Nakaya extra fines, but for most people that wouldn't be, you know, even it annoys me occasionally, you know, it's hard to have it on right smoothly. Smooth's not even a part of the vocabulary with that. Anyway.
And before we go, I just want to add that I did send an email to Salvatore. Is that his name? Salvatore?
Yeah, Salvatore
Yeah.
Matrone.
So we
Matrone,
can
yeah.
get him back on schedule to do a gig with him. So, and then we got those other folks lined up to be coming on. Then I've got some other folks. I won't say any names right now till I get them committed to come on. So it's going to be a busy next year too. So, and then we'll have Doc come on to do his thing. Yeah.
Good. Thanks,
Doc
Larry.
looks at me and goes, "Oh God, again." No, anyway. So
I've got a quick question before we take off.
Yeah.
Several times you mentioned this messenger group that gets certain things. How can somebody belong to that messenger group?
Go ahead, Liz.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's talking about your Facebook page.
Yes.
He's talking about your Facebook page for the messenger on Facebook.
Well, yeah, I'm familiar with Messenger on
If you're a friend
Facebook,
of mine,
but
if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you can get into Messenger.
I think you have to be added.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think you're talking about the Facebook message group that was, you know, that Doc is sharing some stuff with right
Oh,
now.
okay. Is that
You,
what you?
me, Tony, and a few
Yeah.
others.
Aren't you on my groups on Facebook, George?
yes, I am.
And that's what you're going to put it on, right, Doc?
Yeah, that's what it needs to be at. We just took what's her name off the site. Deb, she was having too many notifications. And you, by the way, you can turn off notifications. I don't get notifications for anything. I have too many different sites. But as I've been probably posting a little bit more now, but yeah, you can. I think you have to add him, or Mr. Announce has to add him to the site. I mean, you're a member of the group, so yeah.
I am a member of the group, but I thought this was something being sent by Messenger.
No. This is Facebook
it's on the
now has
Facebook.
a separate program called Messenger.
And on that, Doc, about what's going on with that, I'm probably going to get rid of that thread.
Yeah.
That was just meant to let people know we're having these Zooms, and that was it. So, so people won't get, annoyed with.
George, everything in that messenger group that Joe was talking about. He's been posting out on the Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
he's been pasting on the Facebook page, so you really haven't missed anything.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to miss out on anything. I've got
Yeah,
a fear.
yeah, no. Yeah, what he was posting in Messenger is you're also posting out on Facebook too, Joe, if I'm correct.
Good. I feel
Okay.
better. Thanks.
I don't want to be rude, but it's time to go because the babies are sleeping and they need to be put to bed. Yeah, they're right here. And they're sleeping right there.
Oh yeah, those babies. Before the announcer gets them.
Yeah, I need to put them to bed, and I got to tell them a Penn story every night. So, yeah. So, folks, that's it.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Mike, for everything.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
So we'll see everybody,
Good
and
night.
I'm going to try to
Thanks,
turn
guys.
this
That
thing
was
off
fun.
because I don't
Always
know
is.
how to do all that like that right here.